Hello everyone. Today we will look how to add icons to the different widgets that we have added to an application. As you have used many Android applications, you may have noticed that applications which have icons usually look more beautiful and appealing to the end user. We have already created a simple math quiz application which had 3 buttons. Today let us look into theory and practice of how to add icons to widgets such as the button. If you want to add an icon, that is an image, to display it on a button, you will have to first put this as a resource in your Android Studio project file. As you know that your Android Studio project file already has a folder res. Now you have two choices. Inside the res there is already a folder called drawable. So you can either put your icon images directly under drawable, or within the drawable you can create folders which correspond to different pixel density of the Android devices that are available. So you may want to create folders such as drawable, -HDPI, MDPI, XHDPI and XXHDPI. The MDPI stands for medium density screen, around 160 dpi. The HDPI stands for high density screen, around 240 dpi. The XHDPI stands for extra high density screen, around 320 dpi, and XXHDPI stands for extra high density screen, 480 dpi. There is also a XXX HDPI and there is also an LDPI, which I am not mentioning here. Moreover, here I will only tell you how to add an icon. Creating icon is altogether a different skill and comes under designing. You may want to create your icons yourself, or you may want to use an image that is available on the web with a license that allows you to use it. Here we will try to see how to create a very simple icon ourselves without having any resources, and how to just use an icon which is available on the internet for our program. However, if you plan to make commercial applications, please make sure that whatever images you are using, you own them. That is, their copyright and licensing is with you. So now, let's go into our program and see what we need to do to add an icon. One more thing. When you have added various icon images, the operating system chooses the best image file for the device running the app from the available ones. If an app runs on a device with a screen density that you have not included, Android will automatically scale the available image to the appropriate size. You may be tempted to provide images for all sizes, or you may be tempted to provide only one image. There is a trade-off here. The more images you provide, better you control on how your app looks. However, your app size increases with each image that you provide. And if you provide only, let us say, a few higher resolution images, then you do not exactly know how they will look on a device with lower resolution. You leave it to the OS to decide for it. Now let's go into our program and try to see how do we add an icon image to one of our buttons. As you see, this is our quiz activity. Okay, let's start with our application one more time. Let me just run it to refresh your memory. I'm running the app. From the log messages, you can see that the app has been created, started, and in resume mode. Now I can press a button, I can get an output, another output, I can go to next, and everything is working. Today our task is to add icons to these buttons and to see the whole process of how do we do it. Let us start working on that right away. As you will see that here is this drawable folder in your project. Currently the drawable has nothing. Similarly, if you go to your layout file, activityquiz.xml, it is a very simple file which is only displaying the text. Right, now let's go back. We have again two choices. Either we can create different other sub-drawable folders with respect to different densities, or we may just want to put our images right here only. I will start with just putting images right here. For this purpose, I have downloaded two images from the internet, and I have got two images from the authors of the book Big Nerd Wrench Guide. Let us use those images to see how we can add icons to our widgets. These are these four images. I copy them and I go to my project directory. And I paste these images here. The image arrow left and arrow right are provided by the authors of the book Big Nerd Wrench Guide, while the images T down and T up, that it stands for thumbs down and thumbs up, are available on the internet. Let me just quickly show you how to search for images on the internet. You may have already done that multiple times, but I am trying to show you what could be a right way to do it. I always use Bing search engine for this purpose. Let us say I want to use an image called thumbs up PNG. I type it, go to images. The most important thing that I see is that what kind of license these images are available with. Currently you are seeing a lot of images. Please note that anything that you create is your property. Similarly, these images are property of the people who created them, and you cannot use these images without their explicit permission or without paying them a suitable license fee. However, some people make their images available for free to use. This information is available in the license here, and I want to look for the images which are free to modify, share and use commercially. For my own application, I may actually use any of these images, and usually for such purposes I just go for all Creative Commons images. But because I want to show you the way to how to find images that you can use without any fear of violating intellectual property rights, let us search only for the images free to modify, share and use commercially. This is a reasonably good approach to find images on the internet which may be free to use commercially. However, if you do want to make a commercial application, you must contact the creator of this image and take the permission explicitly. So from here, as you can see, I copied this image, and similarly I typed thumbs down and I copied this image. This is the copy that I was showing you available to me and which we will use in our program. As you can see that these images are a lot bigger than the images provided by the authors of the book, which seem to be of the right size. Now, anyway, today our aim is to add the image and then we can see what we can do with images of different sizes. Let's go to the program, and now you see that initially my drawable folder was empty, but now my drawable folder has the 4 images. Now what I want to do is that I want to add those images in these buttons. Go. As you see that I am seeing different choices. Drawable left, bottom, end, padding, right, start, and various other things. I want to draw it one image on the left and one image on the right. Let me just choose drawable left. And for that I will first use my arrow left image. Similarly, for the next button, I want to use drawable right and I want to do arrow right. I save it, go to design, and here you see that our application now has images corresponding to these buttons. Let me run the application so that you can see it. You can see that the small image that was provided by the authors fits very nicely with the button. Now these images would have made more sense if we had a previous button here and next button, but the idea of this class was to teach you how to add the icons, which we have clearly seen. Now let's go back and try to add the images that we have downloaded. I will go here, I will set T up and let's say T down. That is it. Oh, my image seems to be too big. Let us see. Well, it is so big that it destroys the whole UI. Now let us try to make this image a little bit smaller and then run again. On Windows, I have a very nice tool which is called Paint and it is available. So yeah, let me first also check what is the size of the image provided by the Okay, so the size of the image that has been provided is 15 by 22 pixel. I will try to create my images of the same size. So I bring my image in, do the resize, I go to the pixel, and my current image is actually around 400 times of the image provided by the authors of the book. Let me call it 15. Don't want to maintain aspect ratio, I will do 22, and there it is. My image is now very small. Obviously it is not looking any good, so let me make the size small but maintain the aspect ratio. I'll just make it a 22 by 22. Yeah, that looks better. Let me go back. As you see, I will now open another. I will also do resize. I'll do 20 to 22. I'll save that one too. If you are on a Linux system, you can use GIMP for the same. In fact, GIMP is also available for Windows and is a much better image editor. But for this small purpose, even Paint does good work. Now let's go back, save everything. I was hoping it will change, and let's see what happens. Oh wow, so now our application has reasonably good icons placed in. There are many problems with the images that you download. For example, they do not have a transparent background. That's why you are seeing this clear outline. So if you are planning to make a commercial application, please invest some time in designing the icons yourself. Or better, get it developed by a designer. Anyway, you have seen that how do we add an icon to a widget such as the button. And you have also seen how to make it accessible in your program by changing the XML file and then referring to the resource from the XML file. Now let us see the another way of adding an icon where we would like to create separate directories for different screen pixel densities in our program. So I go to the res again. I create a new directory and I call it drawable-hdpi. Copy all my 4 icons here. Please note that the purpose of this exercise is only to show you how to create apps which have icons for different pixel densities. For this particular example, we do not really have icons which are of different pixel densities, so we will be using the same icons. I can now delete my drawable directory. Similarly, I can create another directory for, let us say, drawable mdpi, already created for HDPI, and I'll just copy the same images into MDPI. Please note that when you create these different directories, you are copying all the images of the icons across all the directories. Essentially, you are creating icons of different pixel densities and you are presenting them in all the different directories. So in our case, the copy is exactly same, but in a real application case, the name will be same, but the pixel density of each icons will be different as per their directory structure. Now let's go back to our program and see that if we need to make any changes in our layout file. It does not seem so. I can run my program again and fine, my app is fine. So at runtime, the Android will automatically take the right icon file depending on the screen pixel density of the actual device that we are using. Now, let us see very quickly how to create your own icon files for your simple application. For such purposes, I use nothing but the Microsoft Paint program. What Microsoft Paint gives me is a way to create a small PNG images myself. So let us say if I wanted to create my own left icon image, I could have just created it like this, make it fit to the resize, and I save it. Let's say this is left, and that's it. I have created my own icon. This will not look very good, but as it is okay for my own application. However, if I want to go for a commercial application, I actually get these icons designed by actual designers. In that way, you own the copyright, you own the license, and you can also see how your application uses beautiful icons which you have designed. Today, we learned all about adding icons to the widgets. Thank you.